Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at the Minotaur and the Labyrinth of Crete. However, before we begin, I would just like to remind you that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Please don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Let's begin with the Minotaur. Who or what was it? The Minotaur was a mythical creature portrayed in classical times with the head and tail of a bull and the body of a man. Where did the Minotaur live? The creature dwelled at the center of the Labyrinth, which was an elaborate maze-like construction on the island of Crete. The Labyrinth was designed by the architect Daedalus and his son Icarus. Why? The Labyrinth was built on the command of King Minos. After ascending to the throne of the island of Crete, Minos competed with his brothers as ruler. Minos prayed to the sea god Poseidon to send him a snow-white bull as a sign of the god's favor. Minos was to sacrifice the bull to honor Poseidon, but owing to the bull's beauty, he decided to keep him instead. Minos believed that the god would accept a substitute sacrifice. However, to punish Minos, Poseidon made Minos' wife, Pasiphae, fall in love with the bull. Pasiphae had the craftsman Daedalus fashion a hollow wooden cow, which she climbed into in order to mate with the bull. The monstrous Minotaur was the result of their illicit union. Pasiphae nursed the Minotaur, but he grew in size and became ferocious. As the unnatural offspring of a woman and a beast, the Minotaur had no natural source of nourishment and thus devoured humans for sustenance. Minos, following the advice from the Oracle of Delphi, had Daedalus construct a gigantic labyrinth to hold the Minotaur. Its location was near Minos' palace in Knossos. The Minotaur is commonly represented in classical times through the Renaissance as a creature imprisoned within the labyrinth. It is quite evident that the Minotaur is trapped within the complex maze and has no recourse but to accept its fate as decreed by the tyrant king. Why was Minos such a tyrant? According to the tale, Minos' son, Androgeos, had entered and won the Pantheonic Games, which were held by King Aegeus. After Androgeos' victory, the king sent him to Marathon to fight a bull. Unfortunately, Androgeos was killed. Outraged, King Minos went to Athens to avenge his son. Being a son of Zeus, Minos asked his father to punish the Athenians. Zeus complied to the wishes of his son and struck Athens with the plague and hunger. Zeus also decreed that the Athenians must meet any and all demands made by King Minos if they wanted to escape any further punishments by him. Minos then demanded that Athens send 7 boys and 7 girls to Crete every 9 years to be sacrificed to the Minotaur. This went on for several years until Theseus decided to put an end to such barbarism. Who then was Theseus? He was a prince and the son of King Aegeus. Theseus was also the founding hero of the Athenians. The myths surrounding his journeys, exploits, and friends have provided material for fiction throughout the ages. Tradition has it that Theseus was responsible for the synarchos, or the political unification of Attica under Athens. He is also renowned as the champion who subdued many ogres and monstrous beasts. Since he was seen as a unifying king, Theseus built and occupied a palace on the fortress of the Acropolis, and tradition has it that it was he who established a cult of Aphrodite Pandemos, which means Aphrodite of all the people. Theseus placed his temple to the goddess on the southern slope of the Acropolis. Replacing one of the youths to be sacrificed, Theseus set out to Crete to kill the Minotaur. He explained to his father, King Aegeus, that he would set off with his ship under a black sail. If he was victorious, he would return home under a white sail. Like the others who were chosen to be sacrificed, Theseus was stripped of all his weapons. Upon his arrival to Crete, Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos, fell in love with him. On the advice of Daedalus, the master craftsman, Theseus was given a ball of thread so he could find his way out of the labyrinth. That night, Ariadne escorted Theseus to the labyrinth. He then promised the princess that if he succeeded in his mission to kill the Minotaur, he would take Ariadne with him back to Athens. Upon entry, Theseus immediately tied one end of the ball of string to the doorpost and brandished a sword, which he kept hidden in his tunic and out of sight of the guards. Theseus followed Daedalus's instruction and go forwards, always down, never right or left. At length, Theseus came to the heart of the labyrinth and also upon the sleeping Minotaur. In a flash, the beast awoke, and immediately a tremendous battle ensued. Theseus eventually overpowered the beast with his strength and stabbed the Minotaur in the throat with his sword. After decapitating the beast, Theseus used the string to find his way back out of the labyrinth and managed to escape with the young Athenians and Ariadne, as well as her younger sister, Phaedra. Then he and the rest of the crew fell asleep on a beach on the island of Naxos, where they had stopped on their way back looking for water. The goddess Athena woke Theseus and told him to leave early in the morning, and he must leave Ariadne behind for Dionysus, for Naxos was his island. Stricken with distress, Theseus forgot to put up the white sails instead of the black. Upon seeing the ship, King Aegeus mistakenly thought his son had been killed in his mission to slay the Minotaur. King Aegeus then committed suicide by throwing himself off a cliff of Sounion and into the sea. Thus, this is how the body of water came to be known as the Aegean Sea. This is the end of part 1 of the Minotaur and the Labyrinth. In part 2, we will review your questions and comments. Just as a reminder, we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. For your convenience, we have also listed our email address and Instagram information. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Traveler's Tales. Cartistos.